Hey y'all, it's Burgess Taylor, also known as Journey with Burgess on the socials. Today, we're going to talk about a few things in regards to journaling. Today's topic is brought to you by my very new bullet journal. Yes, I said that right. New bullet journal. New bullet journal. I talked about this in my coffee chat for Patreon this week. I tried to love the B5, to love that 160, paper's good. I love the orca on the front. Journal's fantastic. I love notebook therapy. I'm using the washi. I'm using my pen pouch. But Tomoe river paper. Tomoe river paper. That's all I have to say. Tomoe river paper. And A5. And I like B5, and I'm still going to use the journal. I have ripped out some pages and got some artwork out of it because I needed to set up my bullet journal. And one weekend, and I have already, I'm hoping this stuff won't fall out. I've got a couple of stickers coming, and I will put them here. I put that here. I got the "In a world full of fish, be a shark." This says, "Be kind to your mind." This was Happy Mail. It was a homemade card from a friend and a patron. This is my index. So we're going to skip. So we have a future log. That's July, August, September, October, November, December, and 2022. This is mood, pain, energy, anxiety, and sleep. This is for the doctor. We've got video ideas and chat ideas. We've got June. Can you see what I did? The calendar. My log and my to-dos. My tarot spread. And I have a little bit of journaling left to do. My habit tracker. And this is notes to self. So I will be putting stuff in throughout the month. Then we get to here. This is the week that we're currently on. The coffee chat for Patreon. Yesterday's page. The coffee chat for today. And today's page. Let's talk about the itch to switch journals, planners. We're going to talk about when it's not so much of an itch, but you can't stand that journal any longer. Or that journal's just not working for you. It's just not working. It's just not working. And it happens. It happens to everybody. Well, most people. Because there are some people who figured out what they like, or even if they don't kind of like it, and they'll use like whatever they have handy. They'll use whatever they've already started in, and they won't start a new journal until they finish the old one. Until they finish the one that they're on currently. But if you're like me, and you really don't order extra notebooks, not very many anyway, because when you're ordering a notebook, you're ordering it because it's getting close to time for you to replace said notebook. And you have some of your favorites, like I love the Enigma and the Breeze from Taroko Design. Those are 68 GSM Tomoe River papers. Tomoe River paper. I also like his inserts with the 52 GSM. I love the Nami paper. I love their standard, their writer, their crossfield, their microdot, their cafe, no B6, slim, A6. I love Tomoe River paper. I like the Wonderland 222. I just didn't like, I think it would work, but you still have like two separates, and the back part wasn't really going to be enough for what I needed for planning or for bullet journaling and a planner. And the whole reason I've kind of switched things up is to get back into the bullet journal, because the Hobonichi Cousin works well as a planner, and I'm using the bullet journal and the Hobonichi Cousin in conjunction with each other. So the Hobonichi Cousin is my workhorse. It's my grand central station. That's where I put our personal, home, family, me, doctor's appointments, finances. If it's something important and I need to do it, like I've got some things for Patreon or YouTube membership or YouTube or whatever, and it's really important that I kind of remember that I've got it going on or I've set it ahead of time. So some things end up in both the bullet journal and the planner, and that's okay. I have ADHD, y'all. So the more I write something down, the less likely I am to forget it. And if you're anything like me with or without ADHD or ADD, if you don't write it down, chances are you're going to forget it. Because I'll be doing something or whatever, and I'll think of something, and if I don't immediately write it down or put it in my phone in the notes section or something, I'm going to forget it. So I try to carry like a little notebook like this B6 Slim, which is sort of my commonplace list, notes to self, research, anything that I kind of need to make a little list for, because it's really easy to kind of tote around. I also have an A6. I also have a Hobonichi Weeks. I have a lot of different journals. Sometimes each one has a designated kind of thing, okay? What I was finding is that before when I was trying to do the bullet journal in the Hobonichi, I didn't like having to go back to the front for the collections and stuff like that, or the coffee chats, and having those little inserts, little Hobonichi notebooks to go with. Had one in the back for the like more of collections, and then I had one in the front that was more for like coffee chats or notes or whatever. I've been trying to get back into the swing of things. I've been trying to be more creative. I've been trying to grow creatively, trying new things, revamping things, old things, sort of refocusing, setting priorities, because as you change and you go through things, your priorities are going to change. Sometimes I'll hear something in a video, or I'll see something on Instagram, or I'll see something in a movie or a TV show, or hear it in a podcast, or read it in a book or a magazine or whatever, and I'm like super inspired or motivated. Or I get this like jolt of synchronicity. Now I talked about switching in the Patreon video, and while I was editing the video, because I had a lot of disruptions, I went inside to get a fresh cup of coffee, and while I was waiting for the coffee to brew, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I had already done quite a bit of the video for Patreon. I came across something that was very synchronicitous. I'm going to read you the post. The post was on Instagram, creatively free to be me. This is Leanne. She's also on Patreon and on YouTube. The picture says Leanne's office. And this is what she wrote. And I had talked about this in quite a different way. Hey y'all, this is Editing Burgess. I filmed this yesterday evening, because while I wanted to do it while it was still fresh in my mind. And my mom had bought me this cute little shirt, and I wanted to see how it would look on camera. So I had put it on and went ahead and changed the date on the calendar. And so now you're going to see me in what I'm actually wearing, because all I had done was change shirts. But anyway, this is Editing Burgess. I think the thing that really hit me hard, that really resonated, wasn't just that it felt like it was synchronicity. And it wasn't just that I was already in the middle of talking about the very same thing, but it was her words. And you're about to hear those words. Her words were very powerful. She hit home with it in much less time than I did in my chat on Patreon. Listen to what she says. Well, you're going to hear me saying what she said in the post. But y'all, very powerful. Very powerful. But this is what she says. Life is too short to work in a journal you hate. Hate is a pretty strong word, but the statement still applies. Journaling should be an experience that helps us take joy in the moments of our lives. It doesn't matter who or what you journal for. If you write, collage, paint, glue, stick, draw, whatever it is that you do between the pages of your journal, you deserve to enjoy it and have that lifted feeling after. That feeling is what matters. That's that zone. I'm sorry, that's my words. The act of journaling is so much more important than the book that you are putting it in. It doesn't matter if you just started the journal, you're halfway through, or have 2 pages left. If you are at a point where you no longer feel inspired to pick up that journal and work in it, it is time to move on. No guilt or berating needed. I don't care if the journal costs you 10 cents or $100. The journal is only worth as much as the experience you're having with it. The journal is only worth as much as the experience you're having with it. I wrote that part in my journal. Sometimes journals last us days, weeks, months, or years. A journal isn't finished when every single page is filled. It's finished when you feel like it's finished. And not all of them have the same finished point. Let's stop putting so much pressure on ourselves around how we should and shouldn't be journaling and just enjoy the freaking ride. I commented and I sent her a private message. And it got me to thinking, a long time ago, I think when Miss Vicky B first got on Patreon, might have been that first year, so it was probably like 2018. And I had to pull a quote from an old journal. I had two or three different quotes from her. I know one of them came from a podcast. But Miss Vicky B said, "It's okay to go where your heart is and where you're drawn and inspired." She also said that like planners and journals and planning and journaling and stationery stuff, it's for a lot of us, it's our passion. It's a hobby. It's something that we invest in. And she said we need to embrace that instead of looking at it as something shameful or a dirty little secret. The fact that we want to switch things up, that we got the itch to switch. I am not saying that I don't like the notebook therapy, the B5. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying at all. It's a wonderful, absolutely gorgeous notebook. My daughter loves hers, and I like them for doing like morning pages or for anything that I'm just writing down with like a gel pen or a Uniball or, anything, a hybrid, the Jetstream. I'm not real crazy about it for fountain pens. And it's okay for watercolor. I like it with markers. But what I'm finding is that for what I need it for, not so great. Because you can't really blend on that paper. Not the way that I'm used to being able to blend things on Tomaway River paper. That's my fault. Because I'm cuckoo for some Tomaway River paper, y'all. I absolutely love it. 52 GSM, 68 GSM, blank, dot grid, lined, graph. I don't care. The synchronicity of that really hit me yesterday because I had just heard something from Jamie Riddler. I was looking through some of the emails that I'd missed trying to do some admin work the beginning of this week. And I wrote down something that Jamie Riddler said. Creative capacity. When you recognize and develop your creative capacity, you come alive. You discover your agency. And you are able to break through limitations and open up possibilities like never before. And once you know that you can be creative, that you can doodle, that you can watercolor, that you can draw a straight line by pulling your pen towards you. Once you know that you can cross stitch or you can crochet. I remember doing the first patch, first square, and then the first line, my first little lap blanket when I was crocheting, a scarf. I remember getting super excited about it. It was I felt so accomplished and so full of self-confidence. And that's what creativity does for us. It expands our horizons. It expands our self-esteem and our confidence. It gives us this immense amount of possibilities because creativity is problem solving. It's important to think about. It's important to expand creativity and not just lump creativity in this one little thing, this one little box, because there's all different kinds of ways of being creative. One of the things that I've noticed, and it's a new moon eclipse in Gemini, and I wrote down some stuff. Slow down, reflect, reevaluate, reshape, reform, refocus, all the re's. Get clear on what you'd like to commit to and what merits your hard work and perseverance. And I'm like, the beginning of the week, I was in a lot of pain. I've just recently gotten on a new medicine, or a new couple of medicines. Hopefully they're going to help, but it's messed up my sleep schedule. I'm trying to get back. It makes me extremely drowsy, and my doctor said to take it in the morning. Well, if I take it in the morning, within an hour or two, I can't hold my head up. So I have switched, and I'm taking it at night. And we're going to see once it gets in my system if it still makes me that drowsy, because I'd like to get to the point where I'm taking it in the morning. But if not, then I'll just take it in the evening right after I eat dinner. Where I'm at with this coffee chat, because I think I got a little carried away, and I think I got a little ahead of myself. So like I said, today's coffee chat's brought to you by synchronicity, by my new bullet journal in the Nanami Papers 7 Seas Crossfield with the new Tomoe River paper that is going to be discontinued, because that's from machine number 9. The regular 52 GSM, the old Tomoe River paper, was from machine 7, which they've already stopped using. They're going to have a new Tomoe River paper, so they're not completely discontinuing it. But for a couple of days there, or for a little while, like every time I turn around, there's like misinformation. And it's like, they're discontinuing it altogether, or you can get the new one, or now you can't, you're not going to be able to get the new one after a while. And I'm like, oh geez, we're going to have a shortage of Tomoe River paper notebooks, like the toilet paper thing and the gas thing. I don't keep a lot of extra notebooks. I have 2 breezes. I have a micro dot from Nanami paper that's only about 1/4 of the way full. I have some extra Tomoe River paper that I could technically make a journal out of. But I don't keep a lot of extra journals on hand because I use them. I have this thing about empty notebooks. I have to at least write something in them. I don't know. I'm the opposite of most people, I guess. That journal itch, the planner itch, the itch to switch, to make a change, or I can't stand this kind of notebook, or this size, or this kind of paper, or I don't like whatever it is, or I hate this after trying it. The B5 is just not, as much as I loved it and as much as I really, really wanted it to work, it's not me. And I was trying, and I guess it could sort of kind of be me, but it's not. It's just not me. There are a lot of people who are in this mindset of, you should have one journal, you should have one planner, you should have one sketchbook, or you should have all of it together, a bullet journal, or omni journal, or a whatever journal, or just a journal. When I was young, everything went in one journal, and I had a whole bunch of them, like stacks and stacks, because I would go through them so quickly that a composition notebook lasted me about a month. It's a really good thing they were like less than $1 each. A lot of people in my real life, God, you got a lot of stuff. Do you really need all that stuff? Do you need all those journals? Do you need all those pens? Do you need all those markers? Do you need all those pouches? Do you need all those watercolors? And do I need? No, I don't need all of that stuff. All I really need to journal is a pen and the journal. I can doodle with a pen. I can sketch with a ballpoint and I'd prefer some, Crayola Super Tips, or some Crayola markers, or some, like the fat Crayola markers that I buy for Victor and Selena. I have some colored fine liners by Sarasa. These are fantastic, by the way. I'll leave a link for them below. But I am creative in pretty much all of my journals. Somewhere, somehow, I'm going to be creative. Whether it's putting a sticker, or using different color inks, or drawing, or doodling, or something, adding pictures and collage, whatever. I'm going to be creative in all of my journals. It's just how I am. It's how I've always been. And I think that's one of the things, is that when you are a journaler or a planner or both, you tweak things. So as you discover new techniques, new products, new sizes, different kinds of paper, different kinds of pens, whatever, you're going to change things as you find things that are your favorites, as you find things that you don't like, as you find things that you do love, as you go through, you're going to tweak things. You're going to change things up. You're going to go with what works best for you, because you're learning, and as you learn more about what really works for you, as if it's your planner, it's your system, and maybe how you use your system, and or how you use this kind of note, how you use your system in this kind of notebook or in this kind of planner, you're going to make adjustments because you're learning, and as you learn, things are going to change. Plus, I think we all have different ideas about how a journal should work, or how the journal works for us, or what we want to use in a journal, or the kind of journal that we want to use, or the size. Like, I know, like, there are certain trends, certain fads, certain things that a lot of people love or that a lot of people don't love. It's like, I love Tomoe River paper. I like the Stology, but I love Tomoe River paper. And I was kind of panicking. I'm like, oh, please don't tell me I have to switch to the Stology completely, because I like it for certain things, and it does watercolor well. And if I had to, I've used them several times over the years, and I can use them, but I do prefer Tomoe River paper. So one of the best things about journaling is that there aren't any rules. There are no steadfast rules. The only rule there is that to journal, you need a pen or a pencil and some paper. You don't even really need a notebook, because you can technically journal on loose leaf paper or a napkin or a scratch piece of paper, construction paper, whatever, paper tablecloth. It doesn't matter. You can journal on anything, really, as long as you can write on it, and as long as you have a writing utensil. You could have a twig dipped in charcoal and journal with it. I know I'm getting to extremes, but I'm just saying. So there's no rules, no hard, fast rules. It's up to the individual. It's up to us as journalers, as planners. But there's this immense amount of guilt, pressure, shame for some of us who switch things. If I don't like something, if it's not working for me, I'm going to switch it. It may take me a little bit longer because I am racked with guilt over the money that I just spent in it, or all the time it took me to go ahead and set it up, or I just got finished doing a video about it and now I'm like already in something different. Sylvia with a plan, I hear you. I hear you in my head. I don't know how many times I've heard that sometimes in her videos, and it's the same for me, for quite a bit of us. There are some people like Miss Vicky B and My Life Myths and several other people who have numerous journals and they can go in and out of them easily. I have numerous journals, and when I'm using them, I can do that. Like, there are certain journals that I don't use every single day. I use sometimes when the mood strikes. There are other journals that I'm in it for all of like a minute or 5 minutes, and then that's it. There are some journals I need to catch up in. There are some journals that I have back here that I'm probably never, ever, ever going to use or look at or anything again, but they're there in case I do. A lot of people have asked me over the years about the Omni Journal. A lot of people have asked me about the creative bullet journaling. A lot of people have asked me how I journal, why I journal. I've covered almost every single one of those topics in a number of videos. But you know, the thing that resonates with me the most is if you look back through my older videos and you go through, I'm going to go through stages, I'm going to go through seasons, and I will come back around, I come back around, and I come back around to some form or other of, I'm just going to call it a creative journal, where I'm putting planning in it, bullet journaling in it, quotes in it, some doodling, some art journaling, some collage pictures, maybe ideas and research, collections, whatever. I've got all different kinds of things in it. So in essence, it's an Omni journal, but a lot of people think of the Omni journal as you use that one journal for every single thing, and then you don't use any other kind of journal. My Hobonichi cousin is in a way an Omni journal. This bullet journal that I've said, it's an Omni journal, but that doesn't mean I can't use anything else. That doesn't mean that I can't throw this in my purse along with the A6 or the weeks or whatever, and I'm good to go. Like, and then I can come back in and fill things in, because it doesn't bother me if things are a bit redundant. Like I said, I have ADHD. The redundancy is not going to bother me, because that means I'm more likely to remember. My long-term memory's fine. Some of it. Like, I can remember some things. Unfortunately, one of the things about certain kinds of medicines for anxiety and depression and ADD, ADHD, some of the medicines, I won't say a lot, some of the medicines for mental illness can affect your memory. And there are things that my cousins, other family members have said, well, you don't remember that? And I'm like, no. But other things from when I was even younger or a couple of years older or right around that same age really stand out in my memory. Like, once they've reminded me of it, I can vaguely remember it, but I don't remember any of the specific details. And I think that's because our brain is only able to use so much. Like, we don't use as much as we could use in our brain. But what we are using, there's only so much storage you can have. So our brain is defragging. And every time I do a mind spill, or I do a brain dump, or I do some journaling, I get things out. That's why I write everything down. It's why I write on Post-it notes and stick it in my journal. It's why I write notes to myself in my phone. It's why I keep like a small journal, like the B6 Slim or the A6, and I keep one in my purse. The weeks, whatever I'm in the mood, I switch back and forth sometimes between the A6 and the weeks, depending on what's going on. I wish the weeks had the white paper. It has that cream color paper, and I like the white paper. So it doesn't have to be bright white, but it needs to be white. I like the white. So anyway, I'm getting off topic, and now I've ran really long. Check out Leanne's Instagram. I absolutely love what she said. I couldn't agree more. I put a big hell yeah in the comments. Miss Vicky B, she has some awesome and amazing videos out there about journaling and about some of this very same stuff. Because some people would say, well, you need to have this, you need to use this planner, you need to use, they're telling you this way. Even Ryder Carroll's bullet journal method, in the very beginning, a lot of people were going, well, if you're choosing form over function, you're not bullet journaling properly. It's not what it was meant for. Well, even he reevaluated that. If I am not creative, even in my planner, my bullet journal, even my Dear Diary journal, if I'm not remotely creative in it whatsoever at all, I'm going to get distracted by something else that does catch my attention and will keep more of my attention. And I'm never going to get as much as I could get done if this is grabbing my attention. It's why you see things like the Post-it note and the picture and then the smiley face over there and the little, things. Because the visual stuff helps grab my attention. The color helps grab my attention. The change in font or lettering for the date or whatever, it captures my attention. It's why I like different colored inks, but my problem with a lot of different colored inks is they're not even water resistant, much less waterproof, and I do a lot of watercoloring, wet media in my journals. I think I've gotten off topic again. This is a rambly coffee chat. I hope that you grabbed you a cuppa. I think it's important that we remember that there aren't any rules. It's okay if you have the itch to switch. Do you have something to switch into? Are you just itching to switch covers? Do you need a different color because now it's a different season, so you're feeling a different vibe? Do you need a different kind of paper? Do you need a different size journal? Do you need a completely different system altogether? Like maybe you've been in the Leuchtturm for a long time, or astrology, and you're just not feeling it anymore, and you want to go back to a traveler's notebook with inserts and like a 12 or an 18-month calendar insert, and then like a monthly insert and a weekly insert and then a daily insert or whatever. Do you need to have something more like an Erin Condren or a Happy Planner? There's all different kinds of things. The Moxie Life Planner would be a really good one. Passion Planner, you know, or maybe you're more of like a Hobonichi. Hopefully there'll still be Hobonichis in a couple of years. I think it's important to remember that what we need right now is different than what we needed maybe a few years ago. And what we're going to need 6 months from now, or a year from now, or 3 years from now, or 5 years from now might be different, might be slightly different. Maybe it'll be exactly the same, but maybe you'll just have a different size, or maybe you'll be using a different journal but the same system. Maybe we'll all have to switch to 68 GSM Tumbleway River paper, those of us who love Tumbleway River paper. I don't know. I decided I was going to use this crossfield with the new Tumbleway River paper, which will, I guess, be the old new Tumbleway River paper. There's the old Tumbleway River paper, and then we're going to have the old new Tumbleway River paper, and then we're going to have the new Tumbleway River paper. It's a mouthful. But I've been trying to keep up with it on Twitter and on Reddit and videos and forums and stuff, trying to find out what's going on, because I love me some Tumbleway River paper. 52 GSM or 68 GSM, I don't care, as long as it's the white Tumbleway River paper. Dot grid, lined, plain, I don't care. And like I said, it doesn't have to be bright white. It just, I don't want yellow or that ivory color. Yeah, I think I've covered everything that I meant to cover, and I went way longer than I meant to. So the next video will be a flip through, an actual flip through and a setup of the next week in this journal, and hopefully you will have this up on Thursday. I'm trying to figure out how can be able to do like a PDF so you could have it. I think I can do a PDF in Google Docs and leave you the link. I think me and Bree did that like a long time ago when we did a collab, so that wouldn't be a bad idea. I'll see y'all again really soon with another video. Hopefully you'll have a plan with me video and a journal flip this weekend. I'm trying to do y'all's videos on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, depending on when I can get things up. I'll see y'all real soon. Y'all have a great one. Bye, y'all.